3, 2, 1, 0. Ignition.
When Falcon Heavy lifted off in 2018, it became the most powerful operational rocket in the world. It can lift into orbit nearly 64 metric tons or 141,000 pounds. Their engines can produce more than 5 million pounds of thrust at liftoff, which is equal to almost 18 747 aircrafts. And more importantly, it's partially reusable. If you think this is impressive, then you should probably wait a few more years, because SpaceX and Elon Musk have a much bigger plan for us, and it's known as Starship. SpaceX Starship will be the world's most powerful launch vehicle ever built, with a capacity to carry more than 100 metric tons of load to the Earth's orbit, which is almost equal to carrying a fully grown blue whale. What makes it unique is that this will be a fully reusable transport system that can take both crew and cargo to the Moon, Mars and beyond. Starship system is 120 meter high and it has two parts, the main spacecraft section called Starship and the super heavy rocket section called the booster. Starship spacecraft is the second stage of the Starship system, which is 50 meter high and 9 meter wide with an integrated payload section to carry cargo and crew. Only the payload section is about 80 meter high and 9 meter in diameter, which makes it the largest usable payload volume of any current or in development launcher. Now the next part is the super heavy rocket or the booster. As said by Musk, the booster will act like a javelin thrower which will direct and accelerate the ship to about 8,650 km per hour. So this is the first stage of the system, which has a lift-off mass of over 3 million kg and uses subcooled liquid methane and liquid oxygen propellants. To produce this much power, SpaceX manufactures a specially designed, highly reusable full-flow staged combustion rocket engine called Raptors. These monster-sized Raptor engines are as big as a medium-sized delivery van, so you have an idea of how big it is. Raptor engines are also used in both stages of the Starship system. Perhaps 37 Raptor engines will be used with the booster rocket to produce that massive lift power, and about 6 Raptors will be used with the top part, which is a spacecraft where 3 engines are optimized for sea level and 3 for vacuum. But is the Starship ready for a journey? At the time of making this video, no. However, it has come a long way from the idea stage into the prototyping testing stages now. I would say a few more designs and tests, they are ready to go. Initial stage designs were changing often, as in any product development. The design, name, features did change many times. For example, the first name of the Starship in 2012 was Mars Colonial Transporter, named with Mars mission in mind. Later on it changed to Interplanetary Transport System and then changed again to temporary name BFR, which is Big Falcon Rocket, or informally Big Rocket. And that spacecraft part at the time was called BFS, which is Big Falcon Spaceship. All these designs had different heights, diameters, liftoff and payload capacity. Anyway, finally in 2018 the official name changed to Starship, which I think is a perfect name seeing its power. This was one of the few successful prototype testings done in Boca Chica, South Texas, with one Raptor engine, which was done for heights from 1 meter to 150 meter. This prototype is called Starhopper, with a height of about 40 feet and diameter of 30 feet. Soon after this success, SpaceX started constructing several versions for orbital flight prototypes, which were not successful and had many design changes. This successful prototype testing for 150 meter hop done using SN5 and SN6 was done around August to September 2020, and then finally in December 2020, although it seems bad, it did fly about 40,000 feet, completed the flight target and was successful for the most part. These tests were done only for the top part, which is the spacecraft. Booster prototypes are also getting ready for test, but I feel booster testing will be easier than these spacecraft testings. More spacecraft prototypes from serial numbers SN9 to SN15 are in line to be tested soon.
It's the next step, actually, because you really kind of need consciousness to design vehicles that can transport life over hundreds of millions of miles of irradiated space to an environment
When
that they
Elon
did
Musk
not
started
evolve to
SpaceX
exist
in
in.
2002, he had a dream to make humanity a multi-planetary species. Later in 2007, he was almost certain about the Mars mission and started his work towards Starship. Right now, this seemed to be the only space vehicle that can land humans on Mars. Starship is using stainless steel for its body, so when Starship will enter Mars' atmosphere at 7.5 km per second, this means it's entering Mars with a lot of heat. But using stainless steel will prove to be a great choice as it's a heat-resistant and very durable material. By using stainless steel material instead of carbon fiber, which is commonly used for other rockets, it makes the Starship comparatively cheaper to make, roughly 2% of the cost of carbon fiber. Also, steel has a higher melting point, which serves well during hot re-entry burn on Earth's atmosphere, and at the same time, steel also gets stronger the colder it gets, which is ideal for flights in colder space regions. For a mission like Mars, Starship needs to travel millions of miles, which means a lot of fuel. So as the Starship is about to enter orbit, a reusable fuel refilling tanker vehicle will be launched to mate with the Starship in orbit, which refills the spacecraft and return to the Earth. And of course, to put this heavy spacecraft into the orbit and to help it escape Earth's gravity, Super Heavy Booster helps in the first stage, which is again reusable. Elon Musk plans to build about 1,000 Starships in the coming years and eventually build a fully sustainable Mars city for humans by the year 2050. If a journey to Mars is possible with a Starship, then it is easier to go Moon, which is comparatively very near. Lunar crew missions are already planned as a part of NASA's program, which will transport crew between lunar orbit and surface of the Moon using special lunar-optimized Starships. Another mission nicknamed Dear Moon Project is also booked by the Japanese billionaire Yusaku Misawa for him and his team to fly around the Moon in Starship by 2023. Starship missions won't be limited to Mars and Moon missions. They will replace Falcon 9 rockets and Dragon capsules to take over their missions, which will include delivering and returning both cargo and astronauts from International Space Station. SpaceX Starship also has plans to do something unique, Earth-to-Earth transportation. With this, international trips can be completed within an hour or less. In reality, most trips should happen in about half an hour. Trips to Earth orbit to experience the view of the Earth from space or to see your favorite landmarks like the Himalayas or the Great Wall of China or the Great Pyramid of Egypt will be an amazing experience for private passengers. Space tourism is the future. A few companies like Virgin and Blue Origin are already planning some flights to the Earth orbits very soon. Starships can make launching satellites cheaper mainly because of their high reusability factor and their huge payload. When Starship is in full production capacity, Elon Musk estimates that the total launch cost for SpaceX with the Starship to be around $2 million. For comparison, other reusable rockets from SpaceX, which is Falcon 9, have a launch cost of about $50 million. These numbers are already way cheaper than someone like NASA, whose average cost for a launch is estimated to be around $152 million. And if we compare a bigger size rocket in the same category as a Starship, like SLS from NASA, it will have an estimated launch cost of about $2 billion.
Starlink deployed confirmed.
So you can see the Starlink satellites gently floating away from the second stage.
Starlink internet satellites from SpaceX will also be launched using Starships, that too in bigger numbers. To be more exact, around 400 Starlinks in a single launch using Starship as compared to only 60 satellites by Falcon 9. Starlink is a dream internet project which is currently in the early beta stages that will fund Starship and Mars missions. I'll do a separate video on SpaceX Starlinks and leave the link here. As Elon Musk has already instructed his employees to give high priority to Mars mission project and Starship, we should be seeing the next prototypes produced and tested faster. I won't be surprised to see if SN15 and booster prototypes are tested very soon. But one thing is sure, SpaceX and Starship can take humans to the Mars, Moon and beyond and make us multiplanetary species. If you like the video, don't forget to subscribe, please like and share with your friends. See you again. Bye.